Welcome to another week of Table Talk with the Mayor. My name is Greg Holden. I'm here with Mayor Randy Hope, and we'll be talking about issues pertaining to Chatham-Kent this week. Good morning, Mr. Mayor. How are you?
Good morning, Greg. How are you doing?
Very well. This week we had a bit of debate in the council about 5% tax cut, and a lot of roundhouse debate about that. Any comments you have about that?
Well, I think, it sounds nice, 5% cut without affecting services, but the reality is it's difficult. I mean, what we need to do, and it continues to be done every day, is that we look at ways of finding savings. Savings could be consolidation of locations. Savings could be finding better ways of building bridges that cost less, but still providing the adequate service. It might be about equipment use. It might be more shared. I mean, those are things that are true savings that are annualized. When you're looking at a 5% reduction, as the council debated last night, and I know there's a number of opinions out there, but I mean, the ultimate decision lies with council at the end of the day. I mean, staff can make recommendations like they always have in the past, but I think it's going to be council's will to actually, during the budget process, to make tough choices. Nothing's easy. I mean, I've been through this 5%. That's why I spoke so passionately about it, because when I served in the provincial government, when we faced an economic downturn back then, we were talking about a 5% cut. It's not as easy as everybody thinks it is. And the other part is, it's not going to roll back 5% of the taxes. I mean, it never works that way. It's about saving costs without and maintaining services and trying to do all the juggling act that's required.
Certainly be difficult to maintain all the services with a 5% cut.
Definitely. I mean, everything you do. I mean, I'm like I said last night, I'm the one that gets the calls when people don't get the roads cleaned from the snow, or there's a sidewalk that hasn't been fixed, or the road that hasn't been asphalt, or grass that hasn't been cut, or gravel roads that haven't been, haven't had the grader run over it. So, and we hear a bit of it about, even we cut back in the last budget, cleaning the streets. We've even I've heard some emails and got some emails and phone calls about that issue. So it's tough, but I think it's about how do we work with our staff, how do we continue to work with senior management, and how do we engage? Because you're right, I come from the private sector, and there is ways of finding savings, but savings isn't a slash and burn approach. Savings has to be an annualized savings, not just a one-time savings.
Yesterday I wrote a bit of an editorial on the Women's Center, blaming, I said there was, right out here in the back here of your office, there was 3 levels of government. The Women's Center is $70,000 a year, approximately falling short in their financing. What does the city have to do with this in this respect?
Technically, we have no financial responsibility with the women's shelter. What we do is we continue to work with them through our agencies that support women in that situation. But as far as direct funding for the agency, we don't do it. And again, based on the pressures that we're in, it makes it difficult for the government, the local government, the municipality, to even consider offering any support, because it's just another financial burden that people are, which would have tax implication if we were to do things. So, but I mean, in saying that, I mean, I do know the situation, and I also made the comment out there that I'd like to see the women's shelter eventually not required in the community of Chatham-Kent, and that's going to be achieved by, being more respectful. I mean, it's about the whole issue of what happens during arguments and disputes and between families, and it's about family violence. It's about a number of things, and if we bring more awareness to it, we can posture it down a bit, so it's it's still always going to be a fabric of our society, but how do we get it to bring that level of need down is by more awareness of what is out there for people.
I agree. I believe that the press brings out all the stories every day about the domestic violence in Chatham-Kent. I really believe that raising awareness is the #1 way to tackle the problem. So the responsibility then lies primarily with the province.
Well, the province and the federal government kicks in money about the infrastructure monies that they put forward, but the total responsibility is on the province and the community in general, and through fundraising and other activities. So it's not easy because, we all know what the province is going through in their deficit situation. So it's going to be easy. It's easy to say that I'll go get more money, and the difficulty is, where do you get the money from?
True. I can see that municipal would be a lot of money. Anything new on the mayor's desk this week?
Well, there's a lot of activity occurring. I mean, there seems to be a lot of buzzwords going around right now, and it's nice to know that, Chatham-Kent's profile is starting to change. We are getting businesses that are contacting us. Everybody, there's good and bad with summer ending. Summer ending means that when we try to get some time off and enjoy our community, but when September rolls around, Labor Day rolls around, companies are back in gear looking at investment opportunities. And we've have received a number of phone calls. We're doing a number of follow-ups from investment opportunities that were out there. A lot of good signs that indicate the interest in Chatham-Kent, but it's about how do we come together and put deals together, and how do we entice those companies to invest here. And that's why it's really important that the community itself, we need to tell a story about Chatham-Kent and the good things that are going on. I mean, news is news. It focuses on the bad. There's a lot of positive things that are going on in Chatham-Kent, and when we're courting or trying to entice companies to come to Chatham-Kent, it's so important that we talk about a lot of the positive things that are going on, the growth aspect of it. That's one of the things that's happening, and there will be we'll be notifying people that I will be on another trip heading out to China on business venture. I've been asked to speak on alternative energies by the Chinese government, and I've actually accepted their offer. And I'm looking forward to that. We're preparing speeches. We'll be leaving October 13th to visit with a number of companies, government leaders, and also to speak in front of potentially 3,000 to 4,000 delegates. So that's going to give me another chance to blow the horn about what Chatham-Kent has to offer.
Terrific, terrific. And where is that in China?
It's on the southern part of China. Don't ask me to pronounce names because I'm not that great at it. But I just know that there seems to be great interest in alternative energies. The interest is how Chatham-Kent was actually able to formulate this before the Green Energy Act came in, and the planning process in which we used. So they want to know more about what we did to make successes out of it. And yeah, there's still some people out there that'll still complain about wind turbines, and they have every right to. I mean, that's the part of living in a democratic society is you like something, you got the right to say it. If you don't like something, you got the right to say it too. So,
is there any concerns with the Health Canada inquiry into the medical concerns towards it?
Well, to me, it's a waste of money. Most of these studies that Health Canada is actually doing have already been done provincially. It's all part of the reports. It's all part of the standards that when the government was looking at erecting wind turbines in Ontario, they had already done a number of analysis. We had done a number of analysis using peer reviews about the whole issue of noise and about health matters and other things, and we did our research on what we were doing prior to the Green Energy Act coming in. So, to me, I thought it was just a diversion. I thought the government was looking at wind turbines when they got a major pipeline that they want to run, which has more environmental hazards and opportunities. So it's just, I thought it was a diversion, in my own personal
okay.
view.
All right. Well, thank you for that.